Hi, everyone. My name is Jen Bolster. I'm a paramedic practice lead with the Department of Clinical Governance and Professional Practice. I'm here today to give you an introduction to a new tool to support paramedic decision making regarding pre-arrival phone notifications to the emergency department. So the purpose of creating this tool was really to provide a framework surrounding a decision that we know is already being made every day in practice. So this tool was co-created by paramedics, practice leads, regional medical directors, and individual health authorities across the province to create a provincial standard to support the decision to pre-notify the hospital to let them know about a patient that's coming to them by paramedics. So the tool was approved and created with the support of the BCHS Pharmacy and Therapeutics Committee, as well as the Clinical Advisory Committee, to ensure that it is aligned with all areas of clinical governance and professional practice. So when you first take a look at this criteria, you might feel a little bit intimidated by how many different patient presentations are on this list. And so what's important to remember here is that this is really just to provide some structure and guidance around an area of practice that paramedics, for the most part, are already doing, and to support this clinical decision making in the moment. And so I'll put the criteria on the screen here, and feel free to pause so that you can take a look through it. What you'll see is that there is parameters around the patient presentations that we're asking paramedics to always pre-notify for, and nothing on this list is going to be a surprise to paramedics. And then we have some parameters around when to consider pre-notifying that aren't necessarily a must pre-notify, with the number one thing on that list being paramedic discretion for patient concern. And so this is where paramedics are going to be using their best discretion and their judgment for when to pre-notify the hospital, even if it isn't necessarily on this list that we've provided here. You'll also notice a new tool to support the assessment of pediatric patients called the PEWS score. So the PEWS score, or the Pediatric Early Warning Score, is an evidence-based clinical tool for frontline staff to support the recognition and response to pediatric deterioration. So the score has been implemented across British Columbia's hospitals and is supported by recommendations from Child Health BC. The PEWS score is for all patients regarding of acuity, and its integration into practice at BCHS helps to provide a common language to support effective communication between paramedics and hospital staff. The PEWS score is not a substitute for clinical judgment, and if paramedics remain concerned for their patient presentation in the pediatric population, in the absence of a PEWS score that is greater than 5, they should still use their discretion and pre-notify, just to err on the side of caution. The PEWS score assesses patient presentation based on behavior, respiratory, and cardiovascular findings, where the lowest score for each category is 0, and the highest score for each category is 3. We need to recognize that some hospitals may have different parameters around when they would like their paramedics to pre-notify. And what I mean there is that some local hospitals actually ask their paramedics to pre-notify for every single patient that is coming to them. And that is okay. And so this criteria here is just to support the minimum requirements for pre-notifying the emergency department, whilst also respecting that some local hospitals may still ask paramedics to pre-notify for every patient population, because that is how they're able to frame their response, just due to certain resources that may or may not be available at those local hospitals. As a reminder, pre-notification phone calls should be structured using the ATMIS tool, which can be found in the handbook, and I'll also make sure it's linked in the information attached to this video. And we've also created a reference card for this tool that can be printed out and carried on your person, or even printed out and posted as a poster in your stations or other places to help you absorb the criteria and integrate it into your practice. Alternatively, this tool will be available in the handbook, and I'll make sure a link is also included in this video. As always, if you have any questions or comments, concerns, or feedback related to this new clinical reference tool to support paramedic decision-making regarding pre-notification to the emergency department, please feel free to reach out to clinicalpractice@bchs.ca or provide your comments below this video, and we'll be happy to address them as they come in. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you're able to integrate this new tool into your practice with relative ease, and I look forward to hearing your feedback. Bye-bye.